Eres un
Sí,
pendejo
sí,
nomás
sí,
con
sí,
la
sí,
imagen,
sí, sí.
idiota.
Sí, sí, sí.
Cabrón.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez have proven to boxing fans one more time that their September matchup is truly the fight of the year. Despite the fact that Canelo Alvarez has a match set in May, as he hopes to fight during Cinco de Mayo weekend, it's his fight against Terence Crawford that is taking the news.
Imbécil intento de gente que tengo aquí a mi izquierda, que no se le olvide que yo ya vine siendo el Canelo a Estados Unidos y que solamente lucró con mi...
He, alongside the former unbeaten champion from Omaha, Nebraska, has had several meetings with Saudi boxing mogul Turki Al-Baker, but beyond the meetings, they've now mixed things up with some angry words between them for a fight that'll be called the match of the year. Fans want as much misunderstanding and fierceness as possible, while Crawford and Canelo Alvarez know how to give people what they want, and they're doing just that, both.
I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course I beat him. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody else.
It has been reported this week that the fight between the Before the Stars for Pound Stars has been agreed upon and will take place in September, although it is still being suggested that it could actually take place instead in May instead of. Turki Alec has been at the center of talks for both fighter teams as he looks to complete one of the biggest fights in history. Past Canelo was said to be initially hesitant in taking a fight against the 37-year-old from Omaha, but it appears the Mexican fighter has changed his mind and is now gearing up for thigh battle.
A small fighter like Charlo, he's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
In a chat with a famous website, the 34-year-old said he was ready to fight, but that he wouldn't get any credit for it. Crawford, he's a fighter. GTA, I always that. No insults to him. Sometimes it's a little crazy that people talk about a small fighter like Charlo who is big, and then everybody's talking about if I'm going to meet a fighter at 147 who is smaller than Charlo. It makes sense. It makes no sense, but you never know. You never know in fighting. I go up, hand down, and fight everybody out there. Sometimes it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
Fighter 147, who is smaller than Charlo. So no make sense when you guys.
This was almost a repeat of an interview he had earlier where he said, "Am I in? Why not? Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, but for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me. Easy money. If the money is right, because, I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford in the last fight, and he doesn't move that much now. So yeah, if the money is right, I'm in."
What did you think of his performance versus Berlanga?
I think he put on a great performance, like he always do. Canelo is Canelo.
I've been wanting to fight landmark fights. Biggest fight in boxing today. 11 like the fight is the last of the Mohicans. Hinking. The fight would be huge. You got to get to a who top 3 PB4 P4 PNG head to together. Now Canelo is bigger than me. I'm up for the fight. It'll be respect if he does decide to come my way and we get in the ring, and it would be an exciting fight.
Berlanga put on a tremendous show as well. He showed a lot of heart and grit and determination as well, and that made for a great fight.
It goes down. Crawford admits he'll have some difficulties. He said he will definitively to be aware of Canelo /SSIZ as power.r. I've been facing bigger guys my whole life, and if Flays he'll come away with then. Of course, there is no question. My mind that I wouldn't beat anyone I step into the ring with.
Come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight.
What's a possible Canelo-Crawford fight particularly painful is the fact that each man's Hall of Fame-worthy career is likely going down. The 34-year-old Canelo has literally been fighting professionally for nearly 20 years, earning an eye-for-eye-raising record of February 2 and 62. Some of those fights, especially his two controversial battles with Gennady has unquestionably led to Ngo with a considerable 41 fights under his belt. Suffice it to say, the man has never lost in the fight. Seen through a certain view, a Canelo-Crawford match makes a great deal of sense, for it's with thinking what mountains are left for each man to climb.
Won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us.
Now what it's like to be an undisputed winner in an age when there are far too few clear champs to be found. Each fighter also knows what to find like to fight under the bright lights. Canelo's been in multiple real super fights against Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather respectively, while Crawford and Mayweather appeared in first at a super fight back in 2023 when he crushed fellow middleweight TIL Stance in 9 rounds TITs of one-sided stance against Crawford, who last fought at Super Crawford, would have to jump to the lightweight division to face super middleweight King Canelo in what would be one of the biggest fights in recent memory. It now looks like Bud may have the ithons to become undisputed at a third weight class when he takes on her words from the Mexican sporting toga. At a Mexicanverse lost his understanding. NG Rose's 168 LB when he was stripped by the IBF with unknown Cuban William Skull later picked up Theb. And Roses has told Tasca.com that Skull and French pressure fighter Christian Billy are in a running for a Cinco de Mayo showdown against Hish Argwell. There are several. There is William Skell and there is the other one mentioned by the WBO, Christian Embil. I think he lives in Canada. They are the ones that are more Canadian. They are right now, but there is nothing specific. Now,
por cualquiera de las dos vías y después de eso pues ver qué es lo que viene, pero Saúl está para pelear con el que sea.
Canelo's ready to fight whoever it might be, but right now we are squarely focused.
Also hear about Crawford for September. Yuli still don't have a September certain for about 15 days or so. And there are a few who would give a brain who Theolite was lucky to get the win against Vladimir Shishkin last time out. Much of a prayer against Ainst Shishkinweight would have Canelo Alvarez if the fight was to Montreal-based Mobile would materialize. Montreal-based, though he would still go into a fightist inst Guadalajara man as a major enemy. Guadalajara Chapos there are no enemy. Curious about Canelo regardless of who. Hefesis in that he is firing on all cylinders for a generational fight with Crawford this fall.
Ánimo, güey, Eres más joven que él, Saúl, Eres más joven que él, hay que aprovechar eso, hijo,
Canelo comes over the top with an overhand right, lands right to the left.
The link between Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Rose is one of the most successful and lasting teams in boxing. It began in 2003 when a 14-year-old Canelo went into Don Rosso's gym in Guadalajara, Mexico. At the time, Eddie Rose was just 27. His father, Doncho, quickly noticed Canelo's promise due to his speed and skill. Even at such a young age, Canelo's bond with the Roses, especially Eddie, grew from a standard trainer-fighter bond into something more akin to a father-son dynamic. Eddie Rose was important in improving Canelo's fighting skills. He also played a key role in making the two-be fighting icon's great career under Rose's direction. Canelo rose to become one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He won multiple world titles across different weight classes.
Así, güey. Póngase bien. Listo, cabrón. Chile huevos, cabrón. Siéntese, mijo. Ya te acabó.
Crawford is fully aware of the physical disadvantage he would face against Canelo Lowe, saying that size will play a crucial role in the fight. However, he remains confident in his ability to beat the challenge and impose his boxing style. Some experts have voiced doubt about Crawford's ability to fig effectively at least super middleweight. This comes in part from his most recent fight HTA points win over Isramade Udusbea welterweight, HT, which lacked the dominant showman expected Ed.
Ya está, ya. Mijo, siguen 3 rounds, hay que hacerlo con velocidad, con inteligencia, güey. Sí. ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Te lastimó?
Hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bird was gonna beat Spence. It's real simple. You just gotta know boxing in order for you to be able to say that.
Regardless of concerns, the possible fight between Canelo and Crawford has grabbed the minds of boxing fans. The blend of power, speed, skill, and tourism from both fights sets the stage for what could be an unforgettable spectacle. Canelo Alvarez has established the tradition of having 2 fights a year, May and September, the latter on the weekend that celebrates Mexico's independence. Since 2020, he has scheduled his fights in these 2 months, and it is expected that he will do so again. So, it is more intriguing who will be his next opponent due to the lack of interest in accepting the challenge of David Bent. The mandatory World Boxing Council 168B challenger Terence Crawford looks like a strong option for Saúl Alvarez in his first fight of the year, although it seems that the fight is more media than competitive, as Crawford fights at 154. The super welterweight 2 categories below the Guadalajara native of both CFN and Alec Turkey and Alec are trying to convince Alvarez to accept a fight for which he was asking for $150 million. Even how unconvincing the fight against Terence Crawford could be in sporting terms, and the evasiveness against David AA 175 LBS Saúl Alvarez could have other interesting choices to open 2025. Lee Thuring is another name that has been suggested for Canelo. Christian Billy, 29-year-old Frenchman with an undefeated 28 record, who in his last fight defeated Sergey Dorongaset and would be a contender 4th World Boxing Council. A possibility that in September was already ruled out was William Zito, the International Boxing Federation challenger, a body that removed the undisputed tag from the Mexican for refusing to fight the Cuban and stripped him of his world title.
Are we still waiting for that second fight to happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still got to go. Got to work things out and see where they go from there. You know, yeah. What's up? That they can get a shot at Bud after with the belt not even being on the line. Is that a fight that?
Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather.
However, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is one of the biggest boxing fights that could be made Rhino. Owen with Saudi Arabia's role with Sport RT, it seems more possible THA ever. Robert Garcia spoke about Canelo having an edge over Crawford and also touched on Crawford's situation and explained that if he does not get a fight against Canelo Alvarez soon, on the Omaha boxer will surely opt to treat Harry Crawford as a smartman. And he's already gotten everything he wants, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He already did a lot. He doesn't need to push himself, he doesn't have to show anything to anyone. I've talked to Hit Directly Lie, and my feeling is that he wants that big fight against Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he might never fight again. Garcia said that there are many options for Crawford in the junior middleweight category. Arshold he decide to face the current champions, NS the most attractive, is the World Boxing Council and World Boxing Organization Sebastian. He could also face World Boxing Federation, Champion Boca Morale Lothra. Opponents who could make the list: Agramo El Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Siri Botok Kenzandaro. However, for Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to look for another fight, as because of his amazing career and beaten record, he has nothing left to show, he already achieved it. I don't see him fighting just to please the people who tell him he needs to fight this or that one, Garcia explained. Garcia thinks that if it were about money, Craig would have no need to fight again, as he has taken care of his fortune and has investments to back him up. His only reason to return to the ring would be to face Canelo and finish his career on a high. He's going to go out there and look for the big fight, enjoy his life. Man, he's a very smart man. He's invested his money, he doesn't need to fight one more time, but he's still looking for the big fight against Canelo, and if he gets it, he'll take it. But other than that, he might never fight again, added the trainer.
Of course, why would he call out Benavides when he's calling out Canelo knowing that he's going to make double the money?
Because he wants to fight at 68, that's why.
So that's why, Eddie. You know why. He wants to make the biggest fucking payday.
Does he have a chance in the fight?
Everybody has a chance, but I think he'll put up some good rounds. I think he loses.
If the fight takes place against the Guadalajara, Garcia thinks that Crawford can compete with Canelo for 7 rounds. These may be not enough to beat him, but enough to earn his respect and that of public.ic. Look, I think Crawford could give good rounds. I think the first 6 or 8 games will be very tough. Crawford has skills. Crawford is very strong and he has great speed and good power to earn Canelo's respect and show him respect. But finally, I think Canelo is too big and too strong. But for those 6 rounds, I think it would be a very exciting fight. Garcia concluded. Also, a boxing coach revealed how he got racist, abuse, and hateful messages for picking Terence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, should they agreed to make a widely expected and much anticipated fight in 2025. But why did Stephen Edwards double down? The 34-year-old is currently the unified super tour champion and is regarded as the biggest name in boxing. The Mexican is also known for his pressure fighting, intelligent counterpunching, and iron chain, and that's part of why he's 162 bouts and became champion in 4 divisions, challenging in 5 on the other hand is the 37-year-old Bud Crawford, who's also a 4-weight champion and currently unified light middleweight champion, and his switch hitting and tactical intelligence has been highly praised, making him a tactically versatile fighter who has won 41 matches and has knocked out 31 rivals. So the pair present an enticing clash for boxing experts and casual fans alike, which is part of why Saudi Arabia is so keen to make the punch-up happen. But it appears some are taking it too far, as Edwards reveals he received a wave of abuse for backing the American to win the contest by get more racist and hateful emails than you could imagine, Edwards told the media. As per Boxing Scene Cal, just because I picked Crawford to beat Canelo
is a great fighter, but my eyes tell me he's slowing down a bit. The Canelo that fought Berlanga, that's a public execution. The fact that he let Berlanga go the distance, he let Munguia go the distance, he let Charlo go the distance.
Real stalkers who try to bait me into posting their emails because they love to see their names on the internet. Straight losers who claim they hate me and don't want my opinion but read my mailbag every week. It's weird. Obsession. What's funny is all Canelo has to do is take the fight and prove me wrong. You should be upset with him. Me, Canelo's fans didn't get upset with me. I picked him to Baby Bell and I was as wrong as to Left Your Seat was one of the worst picks of my life when I backed that guy to beat people. There's no shame in losing to people. He showed himself to be a great fighter. But I also didn't get one hateful email from any Russians claiming a conspiracy theory against them because I picked Canelo. Despite the abuse, Edwards will not be bullied into picking the man from Guadalajara to beat the man from Omaha should they actually meet in the ring at some time in 2,012,520,125. He offers some tough words to trolls in Heisenbox. Canelo has a great IQ. He has great eyes. He regularly beats up big weights in the gym. This size is not everything, I added. He knows the trouble he had with Mayweather, Trout, and Lara, who had similar body styles and traits to Bud Crawford. And also see what the skit is. Even if you can't, you guys can write in all you want me all the things you want, and insult me all you want. Picking Terrence Bud Crawford to beat Telo Alvarez by close vote. No one is talking me off of my pick.
Once he put him in their place and he knew he could beat him, he just didn't turn the after gear on. And but a lot stronger than people realize. I'm not saying he's stronger than Canelo, but he's strong enough. It's not a weightlifting contest.
Both athletes are good warriors, he said, reflecting on next month's unbeaten light heavyweight title. I think both have a chance to win. Maybe not the best person to advise Crawford right now after losing to a man who was about 50 pounds less than him a few weeks ago. However, Tyson Fury has some warnings for Terrence Crawford. Speaking to TNT Sports Boxing, former two-time world heavyweight champion Fury agreed that weight was the deciding factor in the contest, giving Crawford a chance to beat Canelo had they met years ago in a lower division, but backing the Mexican at super middleweight, where the contest will absolutely take place should it happen here. We had Terrence Crawford facing Alvarez, very tough fight, different weight categories or way. Would this fight happen? I don't know. At 168 I'm going to say Canelo, and at 140 I'm going to say Schizo. I'll go with Canelo. Canelo has definitely ruled out losing any weight, and that is in line with Bud's goal of testing himself to the limit by moving the limit all the way up to 168 and 4 pounds more in his last outing and the outing. For now, for the site, before reports on news moments, in news, and events in the world of boxing. Stay with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on alerts to get told when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, Mantles.